Okay, let us start. So today we will discuss about the prevention and control of zoonosis. Last time we have discussed about uh, the measurement of disease and how what are the surveillance, what is monitoring, and what is survey. That all we have discussed, including sampling procedure, how to sample, how to analyze the sample, and what the inference we can draw. This will give you an idea about the prevention and control of diseases if an outbreak has occurred or it is intended to occur in a population. So first, before going in detail to the methods for the prevention and control strategy, we will a little bit discuss about the definition of prevention and control. So you all know, or you all are aware about the term prevention, and this is usually used different measures that are taken before the occurrence of a disease in order to prevent the disease to occur in a population, or we have an idea to aim to limit its severity in the population. So those measures that were taken to prevent the occurrence of a disease or to limit its severity in the population is called prevention. Any strategy that you take before the occurrence of a disease, that is considered under preventive strategies. And these strategies, it may be a prophylactic strategy, it may be a social strategy, it may be a political way out to prevent the disease in a population. That is all considered as prevention. Then the next definition we are going to discuss about the control. So prevention is strategies before occurrence of a disease, while if a disease has occurred in a population, the disease is already present in a population, then we have to take another strategies, different type of strategy we have to adopt so that the disease should be minimized in the population, the morbidity and mortality should be minimized in the population, so that it should not further affect the productivity or it should not be transmitted further in the population. Those strategies taken are called control, and it is a continuous process that involve both preventive strategy and treatment aspect of a disease. So you can better understand about the control, that what therapeutic strategy or the treatment of animal or diseased population, this is the main strategy that we take to control the disease. Otherwise, control is a broader term which includes prevention also. So here I am trying to show about the CDC, Center for Disease Control. This is an American organization for the control and prevention of diseases in United States. Similarly, we also have on the same pattern, we have NCDC, National Center for Disease Control in India. This is the regional center for designing control strategy nationwide in India. So this has the function to go for the surveillance of disease in human or about the zoonotic disease, and they will provide the strategy that should be taken to prevent various type of infectious diseases, mainly infectious diseases. They are dealing with the infectious disease. So these are the bodies which are doing their duty in prevention and control of infectious diseases in human population. Then this another term called eradication. So there are two terms, eradication and elimination. These are quite similar in nature, and many times we use these both the terms simultaneously to eradicate a disease or to eliminate a disease, but there is a slight difference in the eradication and elimination of a disease. So if we talk about the eradication of a disease, Earlier, it was supposed to be regional elimination of disease, but recently it has been the idea of eradicating a disease has been broadened, and it means a global extinction of an infectious disease. As you see in case of rinderpest in animal, in case of smallpox in human beings, that had been eradicated globally. So the disease is no more present anywhere on the earth. That is eradication of a disease. So it is a global extinction of an infectious disease. Second view of this eradication definition is the reduction in the infectious disease prevalence. The prevalence of disease should be reduced to such a level that there is no further transmission of disease takes place. That also you can say as a eradication. It means that the disease is reduced to such a level that there should not be any major public health, or you can say any further transmission of disease takes place in a population. That is also called an eradication. Another view given in eradication is the reduction in the infectious diseases prevalence to a level at which the disease ceases to be a major public health problem. But the organism or the disease may still be present at some places or in some population, in some individual of the population. The main idea of eradication of a disease is that we have to reduce the prevalence of a disease to such a low level that it should not be further transmitted to cause a major public health problem. That is also called as eradication. As as we can see, the eradication of FMD in certain countries like United Kingdom, United States, like we have eradicated rinderpest in our country. India is free of rinderpest. It means that when the cases of rinderpest is not occurring in our country, or it has some incidence at a very spotted area. The major outbreak does not take place. If it occurs, then we cannot say that our country is free of rinderpest or free of any disease, or the disease is eradicated from a place. That is the idea of doing eradication. Now, a little bit about the term elimination. So, what does it mean? It has been derived from the Latin word. It means that the disease is limited, or the incidence of disease is reduced to such a level that very few cases of disease occurs regionally at a place in a population. That is called elimination. You can see the definition I have written here. It is the reduction in the incidence of disease below the level achieved by control. So whatever level we achieved by adopting control measure is not sufficient to eliminate the disease. It means we have to do some extra effort to further reduce the level of incidence of a disease in a population, so that its spread, its further transmission should be checked. That is called elimination. If a disease is occurring in very few cases in years, if it is occurring at one place in a few very few number, two or four or five cases, then we can say this disease is eliminated from a country. Okay. So sometimes this term is used to describe eradication of a disease from a large geographical area. It means that elimination and eradication is having a very thin line of separation. Sometimes we can say that if a disease is eradicated from a larger geographical area, not from entire earth, then also it is called elimination. The idea is the occurrence or incidence of disease is reduced at a very low level, so that there should not be any further transmission of disease. Now this slide indicates about the the difference between the different strategy control, what is elimination, what is eradication, and what is extinction. I have written one another term, extinction. So extinction is very particular. It means that the infectious organism should be absent from the globe. Not only the disease, even the infectious agent responsible for causing the disease should also be eliminated from the earth. There is no further occurrence of a particular bacteria or virus or any infectious agent on the earth to cause a disease. That is the level of extinction. So I don't think there is any disease that has been extinction that has achieved this level extinction. So there are few diseases that has been eradicated from the globe, like smallpox. You can say there is no further cases of smallpox occurring on the globe, but the virus is still maintained on the earth for future research and research purposes. That's why we say the first strategy we adopt if a disease has occurred is control. Then we go for its elimination, that is we further reduce the occurrence of disease in a population. Then we go for eradication. If a disease is not occurring at all in a country or in a geographical area, then we call it as eradication. And extinction is even the organism is not present on the earth, then it is called extinction. So that is the, you can say, the different strata of control strategy of a disease. Now coming to our major topic, that is the what are the major strategies that we can adopt for the control or eradication of an infectious agent, or you can say a disease in a population. The first method, or you can say the simplest method, if we do not interfere with the disease can be controlled or it can be prevented also. So I have mentioned here doing nothing. It doesn't mean that we have to keep mum and the disease will go automatically out in every cases. But there are some cases, there are some diseases that the environment itself take care of its control. That is, you see the occurrence of certain insect-borne diseases, they have come down to a very low level in extreme weather condition, like in case in winter, extreme winter condition, or in extreme hot condition, the arthropod borne viruses or vector borne viruses, they are very low in incidence. That's why we can say that doing nothing means if we leave the environment as such, the environment will take care of the occurrence of or the incidence of diseases. That's why this strategy is called doing nothing. So it is not a strategy that has been adopted by human being, but the environment itself, they take care of this occurrence of disease. The second and most important strategy that we can adopt or we can interfere to control the disease is quarantine process. That we can see in the present scenario of COVID-19, that the quarantine is very important for the control or for the prevention of a disease, to further to prevent it from further spread. It involves the isolation of infected animal or suspected animal, or the animal or the human being that has been exposed to a risk condition. We have to isolate it and keep it separate so that it should not spread the infection or diseases further to the susceptible population. That is called quarantine. And this is this type of strategy we are usually adopt for if we are importing certain animal. In case of animal, if we are importing, or we are doing in case of human being, if we are operating for international travel, we have to isolate those suspected population before entering into our country. That is the strategy for quarantine to be applied for control of disease. We can also adopt this strategy while introducing a new herd into our farm. so that the new herd which is coming from outside, it may be having certain disease, and it is not producing clinical sign, maybe because the animal is in the incubation phase. So if we keep the animal isolated for a certain period, say 15 days or 30 days or 21 days, then it will start producing clinical sign. If it does not start clinical sign, it means that your animal is free of the disease and you can introduce the animal to your farm also. That's why quarantine strategy is very, very important for control of diseases, and this depends upon the uh, upon you can say the incubation period of the infectious agent. If then it depends upon the incubation period, and it also depends upon the time taken for the infection to be confirmed. So if a disease is, if an infectious agent, it takes more time to produce clinical symptoms, the animal should be quarantined for a longer period. The third the third point, that the time taken for an infected animal to become non-infectious, that is also a considerable point for determining the quarantine period of the disease. If an animal or a human being, it takes more time to clear of the infectious agent, the quarantine period will be more. So quarantine period, it depends upon these three particular points, that is the incubation period, the time taken for infection to be confirmed, and the time taken for infected animal to become non-infectious. These three points are important if we decide a quarantine period for a disease. You see, this India has different quarantine facilities in they are having at Delhi, they are having at major metro cities, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and all. These metro cities, they have different quarantine period for animals. For human being, we can have a quarantine period at any place, any airport, or any border area where the immigration of people or immigration of suspected population is taking place. The next strategy that we can adopt is test and slaughter policy. This is the best strategy considered for the prevention and control of infectious diseases. And many of countries, they adopt this strategy to control diseases in their population, in animal population. But in our country, as far as our country is concerned, we have so many restrictions due to religious taboos and all, so that we cannot go for slaughter of cattle. We cannot go for, also due to some economic conditions, it also contain us to go for the slaughter strategy. We cannot go for slaughter of suspected animal population if the incidence is very high, because it will ultimately be very lethal for economic purpose. So this strategy, although it is very, very tested strategy for a control of disease, we have certain restriction in adopting this policy. Although if a disease is of very, very highly pathogenic, and it has a very high implication of in the human population, we can also go for this strategy. Like in case of avian influenza, we do adopt this strategy for the control of the disease, because this is a very, very serious effect. This has a very serious effect on human population as well. So we can also adopt this one. I think we are running out of time, so you can log in again if it go out. Okay. हेलो.
यस सर.
मेरे ख्याल से टाइम इसका अभी समाप्त हो रहा है.
यस सर.